Today, we'll be covering another 9 rare animatronics, and this time, you picked the order. So, let's dive in. This video is sponsored by Ye Olde Prop Shoppe. Stay until the end for an awesome giveaway. Number 9. Band of Fighters, SNK World. We're starting this list with probably the strangest animatronics in here, which is weird, because you guys voted and placed them in last place. This band of animatronics is extremely rare if you take into consideration that they had a Terry Bogard animatronic. The concept of the band was equally extraordinary and bizarre. It was situated in an alternate universe from the King of Fighters, where the characters, instead of solving their problems fighting, did it through music. So they played in a band. The band was formed by Kyo Kusanagi, Iori Yagami, Terry Bogard, Nakaruru, and Athena Asamiya. The SNK Corporation released a huge amount of promotional articles about the Band of Fighters, and finally, in 1996, the band made its debut as an animatronic band in Neo Geo World, an amusement park created by SNK. The show itself consisted of audio animatronic versions of the 5 characters, singing and performing their songs with a monitor projecting select character portraits. The stage that held the robots was also used for the live performances made by actors for special events, concerts, or announcements. Sadly, the park closed its doors on March 31, 2001, and with it, the Band of Fighters disappeared forever. No one knows what happened to it, and what's even sadder is that there are no videos out there of the band performing. Number 8. Goombas, Super Mario Bros. Movie. We're sorry to announce that we're going to have to bring back the infamous Super Mario Bros. Movie to your minds. But we couldn't resist doing it, because even if the movie is pretty questionable, the work put into it, and especially the animatronics created for it, are very impressive. We talked about the incredible Yoshi Animatronic created by Dave Nelson, but this time, we'll cover the Goomba Animatronics created by Makeup and Effects Laboratory, or MEL. Don't be fooled by the peculiar appearance of these creatures, because these animatronics are very impressive. There is lots of work behind the creation of each animatronic, including their designs and engineering. When the team started building the Goombas, they were basically background characters. Regardless of that, the team decided to do some extra stuff for the Goombas. They made the heads a lot more animatronic and movable, and made the characters much better than what the producers expected. When the producers saw the finished result, they rewrote the script so that characters like Hark, the Goomba, became much more pivotal in the script, and there was more action given to the Goombas within the movie. The MEL team did some RC mechanics for eye movement and for lips and eyebrows, so there was a puppeteer inside the suit, and one operator outside the suit to give them full movement. They made about 11 suits, and each of them was a separate, distinct head of the animatronic suits. The actors inside them wore metal harnesses on their shoulders and backs. The rig had a hat-like piece that connected to the bottom of the Goomba head. The rig was wrapped in a foam shell and covered with a huge wool coat. The coat had one fake arm and hand so that the actor could use a lever inside the suit to make the Goomba's mouth talk. And they all wore headpieces and took directions from the puppeteers off stage. When the filming of the movie was done, many of the animatronics were taken apart for parts, but 2 of them survived. Back in 2013, Goomba number 7 could be found at the famous iCollector.com site, where a user was auctioning it off along with some backup parts from Goomba number 10. The lot included the complete wearable animatronic rig, the maroon wool overcoat with all patches and belts, a gray mesh vest with neck pin, gray pants, boots with steel toes, and both arms with gloves. But apparently, the animatronic wasn't sold. You can check it out. We'll leave a link in the description. Number 7. Level 1 Sentry Gun, Team Fortress 2. We've talked about Valve-inspired animatronics before, mainly Portal animatronics. If you want to see that video, click here. But the Portal animatronics are not the only Valve animatronics out there. Back in 2010, Valve visited the Weta Workshop headquarters, and they were seriously impressed with all of the animatronics and props Weta had created throughout the years. So it was then when Valve decided to ask Weta to create a unique animatronic for them. Valve asked Weta to build a life-size Sentry gun animatronic from level 1 of Team Fortress 2. Weta created the animatronic using the original blueprints from Valve and kept sending updates of the project's progress to Valve until finally, in December of that same year, they sent the finished product to the Valve headquarters. This Sentry animatronic has a motion sensor and sound effects and is super impressive. And the team at Valve decided to install it in the lobby to surprise their visitors. And honestly, it's such a cool surprise. Weta did an excellent job creating this animatronic, and it certainly makes it one of the rarest and coolest on this list. Number 6. Codsworth, Mr. Handy Animatronic, Fallout 4. We have 2 Bethesda animatronics on this list. We have one unofficial one further down the list, and an official one. This official animatronic is none other than Codsworth from Fallout 4, the charismatic robotic butler. This specific automaton is a domestic model called Mr. Handy, who during the game can be one of the multiple companions of our hero. One of the main characteristics of Codsworth is his particular sense of humor.
How do you keep an idiot in suspense? Ah, get it?
Which Bethesda took into account when creating this impressive animatronic for the 2015 E3. They created an interactive booth with this fantastic life-size animatronic Codsworth. In this booth, the robot interacted with the guests with its pre-recorded lines and jokes. There was also an actor who interacted with them on occasion, doing all types of questions, comments, and jokes related to their clothing or appearance. The booth appeared at not only the 2015 E3, but also QuakeCon and PAX Prime of the same year. This very impressive animatronic has several movements in its arms and gave the impression that it was floating on air thanks to a wall attachment. Codsworth was the first official Bethesda animatronic, and we can only hope that it is still safe and sound at Bethesda Studios. Number 5. Licker, Resident Evil movie. Resident Evil is one of the best horror video game franchises, and its popularity took it all the way to the big screen. In 1997, Constantine Films acquired the rights to be able to produce a Resident Evil film, but after several problems with the script, they decided that the film would not be 100% based on the events of the games, and that it would have to have a new story, and even new characters. Even though the film has lots of CGI effects, several practical effects were used, like makeup and of course animatronics, which were done by Animated Extras International. One of the animatronics that was developed was a licker. To create this creepy creature, the team used the original design concepts, but then decided to modify them to make the creature bigger, scarier, and more aggressive. They also used a combination of several animals, like anacondas and lions, for the final design. The team created several molds and latex coverings for the creature's body and a huge and complex animatronic head, with many movements, all controlled by a special command. 2 puppeteers were needed to move the head, one to move the face, and the other to move the body. The Animated Extras team also created another less complex and much more resistant animatronic licker, so they could use it to throw through doors and windows, and that way, they would not harm the main animatronic. For the final product, CGI was used to add effects to the creature's tongue, and there were also 3D models made for full body shots. While this film was not liked by Resident Evil fans, because it had practically nothing to do with the game, the film manages to have several sequels. Fortunately, a new reboot was announced, and apparently, this time, the story will be based on the source material, taking place during the events of Resident Evil 1 and 2. Number 4. Alduin, ScaryFactory Animatronics. Skyrim is one of the most important cult video games of the last decade, with versions and remasters for almost every existing console. And one of the favorite characters of the franchise is Alduin the World Eater. This magnificent and evil dragon is the main villain of the franchise. The dragon had been recreated in lots of forms, collectible figurines, and appears in so much merchandise. But the most incredible recreation came in 2016, when a post appeared on Reddit, claiming that someone had made a life-size animatronic Alduin. The animatronic had been seen in Scary Farm, Roca, Nebraska, but the post generated many doubts, and people wondered if the animatronic had been, in fact, modeled after Alduin. Well, this animatronic dragon was created by ScaryFactory, a studio that specializes in the creation of animatronics for horror attractions. Every year, they build and deliver over 500 animatronics and horror house props, and one of these animatronics is this seriously impressive dragon. The incredible animatronic dragon sits perched atop the dragon's gate. As the patrons approach, the dragon comes to life to blast them with his hot breath, LED-lit, colored, super compressed air fog, and menace them with his snapping jaws. The character features multiple head, neck, and jaw movements, backlit LED eyes, and optional LED-lit custom high-pressure air fog blast. When placed atop the entry gate, character dimensions are 19 feet 6 inches to the top of the shoulder and a width of 15 feet to the exterior of the wings. The dragon is called Skyrim Elder Dragon, which gives the impression that it was undoubtedly modeled after Alduin due to the name's similarity to the name of the game and franchise. The dragon had also been on exhibition during the Transworld Expo, and in case you have $12,000 laying around, you can own this incredible creature. We'll leave a link in the description. Although this dragon is not officially licensed by Bethesda, it is such an amazing animatronic that we could not resist adding it to this list. Number 3. Sonic Toyland Tour Alton Towers. In the early 1990s, Alton Towers knew that the aging Around the World in 80 Days ride was due for an overhaul. The ride still needed to appeal to the park's younger visitors, just offer a more amusing ride. And this is how Toyland Tours was born. The ride took guests on an animated boat tour of an eccentric toy factory. It featured brightly colored, animated characters and was set to a cheerful soundtrack. There were lots of cool ideas on the show, including a snail X-Trick, a racetrack for snails, bouncy castles that bounced on trampolines, and an helicopter, a pink elephant with a propeller on its head. But the main scene on this ride was the Sega Room. That's right, there was an entire section of the ride dedicated to the Sega Mega Drive, and especially Sonic the Hedgehog. The scene was named Sonic at Alton and had huge TVs that would show random segments of gameplay from Sonic 3, Sonic CD, and Sonic Spinball. There were also rings that would light up at random points. But the main piece of this scene was Sonic. As the boat entered the scene, guests could see Sonic standing on a Sega Master System controller and moving the joystick around while also tapping his foot. This animatronic, if we can actually call it an animatronic, did not have lots of movements. This scene was fantastic for gaming fans and other guests alike, but sadly the ride, especially the Sonic section, got very outdated over the years. In 2005, the ride still had Sonic's classic design and still continued to play Sonic the Hedgehog 3 footage on the TVs. This was definitely so outdated if you take into consideration that Sega wasn't even making consoles anymore by that time. Not only that, but the Sonic animatronic lost a lot of its abilities and stopped moving. So that same year, Alton Towers announced that the ride would close to be replaced by Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, the ride, and the Sonic animatronic was lost forever. Number 2. Goro, Mortal Kombat movie. Mortal Kombat has been one of the most successful fighting game franchises in video game history. It has over 20 games for different consoles, and it has spawned several comics, novels, animated and live-action TV series, and also animated and live-action films. Mortal Kombat was adapted into 2 major motion pictures, Mortal Kombat and Mortal Kombat Annihilation. The first film came out in 1995, and despite mixed reviews from critics, the film became a financial success and gained a cult following from fans of the series. The film has many of the most famous Mortal Kombat characters, and one of these characters is Goro. To create this half-human, half-dragon character, Tom Woodruff and Alec Gillis from Amalgamated Dynamics were called. They decided that for the sake of time, they would build an animatronic suit that would have the upper arms, head, face, and neck being completely mechanically articulated. The suit weighed about 125 pounds and was worn by none other than Woodruff Jr., of course. To be able to handle the weight, they built a metal brace that went down his spine and to his hips, which displaced some of the weight, but even with that, it was still very heavy, confining, and hot, according to Woodruff. While Woodruff controlled the character's lower hands and legs, the animatronic part of the suit had to be operated by 13 to 16 puppeteers. They did this by feeding the information into a computer, making this the first motion-controlled creature the studio had ever created. But the animatronic frequently broke down, causing significant delays. In the end, the animatronic worked for what was needed and became a very impressive animatronic suit. There were some CGI enhancements to help with his lip sync and stuff, but the rest of it is pure special effects, wizardry, and talent. Number 1. Five Nights at Freddy's Animatronics. DL Electronics and Mechanics. And we finally arrive at number 1 on this list, the Five Nights at Freddy's animatronics from DL Electronics and Mechanics. DL Electronics and Mechanics is an unofficial, closed, joint group of individual mechanics, programmers, and small technical enterprises that developed several Five Nights at Freddy's animatronics. Among their projects, they have many animatronics, including Funtime Freddy, Chica, Funtime Foxy, Circus Baby, and more. These animatronics are some of the best unofficial animatronics made. They have fantastic programming, LED lights, and some of them can even walk, like Circus Baby. Recently, DL Electronics announced that they are developing the most advanced Five Nights at Freddy's animatronics ever created. These animatronics will include Freddy Fazbear, Bonnie the Bunny, Chica the Chicken, and Foxy the Pirate Fox. They will be able to walk, talk, track people, sing, dance, and will have sound recognition. But the team needs help to be able to create this project, and we'll be leaving a link in the description so all fans can check it out and help them finish this amazing project. While these animatronics are not official, they are a worthy representation of the franchise. Let us know in the comments if you would like to see part 3. And now, over to Luz and Sauko, who have a special announcement.
Thank you so much, Kate. Making this video was a blast.
Yes, it really was. We love talking about animatronics, and we love talking about video games also.
So we partnered up with Ye Olde Prop Shoppe to do a video game related giveaway.
By now, you guys surely know Ye Olde Prop Shoppe, and you know that they have lots of amazing different signs, from theme parks to video game related signs. They have lots of awesome stuff, and we're going to leave a link in the description so you can check them out.
This time, we're giving away these awesome umbrella coasters.
They're so cool, and if you're a Resident Evil fan, you should participate.
All you have to do is follow us on Instagram,
like this picture, and tell us in the comments which is your favorite video game franchise. The winner will be announced on December 21st on our Instagram stories and our community tab.
And that's not all, we have a special code for the Dog Squad.
That's right, so go check out Ye Olde Prop Shoppe and use this code to get free shipping on any purchase.
Good luck and see you next week.
Bye!
Bye guys.